Hey guys, how are we? Well, I've been how can I say this without saying it? No soup for me for 2 weeks. Haven't sent. I'm thinking of just uploading here instead, guys, honestly, because the other one is just attacked constantly. Okay. Anyway, we're going to get to some news today. After the dreadful Australian breakdancing Olympic. I don't even know what that was. Do you know what that was? I have no idea. Very interesting though, but I have no idea what that was. Interpretive breakdancing, I believe. Okay, let's go over here. Okay, Burge Online said, I thought the science was settled. Woosbri, which is responding to someone normally, but maybe just be tagging them. Okay. The Bureau of Meteorology Australia said during National Science Week, we're shining a light on the work being done by the scientists at Canuck, Cape Grim. The Bureau has launched a research project there with CSIRO and US scientists to improve international climate models. If the science is settled, why do they need to improve science models? Very interesting anyway. Okay. What are they saying here? Without me playing the actual thing, we have the spot in Australia. This spot in Australia has the world's cleanest air. Oh, let's just wipe that out. When we have winds south-southwest for thousands of kilometres, we are able to measure the lowest values of pollution in the world. The team stationed here is doing important work about climate. We measure our greenhouse gases and ozone-depleting substances, which are the key drivers of climate change. I beg to differ. The latest research project involves studying the clouds that form over the Southern Ocean. Southern Ocean clouds are totally unique compared to the Northern Hemisphere clouds because of the low levels of pollution. Our clouds reflect more light back to space than the Northern Hemisphere cloud that's formed in a more polluted environment. The project aims to improve international climate models. It's not only Australia that needs Canuck Cape Grim. The whole world depends on this site because we really are the premier station. Are we really? In the Southern Hemisphere and playing a critical role for climate modelers worldwide to have access to this data. Okay, very interesting. Yeah, I didn't think they needed to improve the models. I thought they already had it down pat. They're telling everybody. Okay. Then we've got Matthew Kamanzuli. The money go round. If you're not sick to the back teeth of paying your income taxes, tariffs, fees, charges, parking meters, parking fines, GST, stamp duties, licence fees and application fees, you should be. Water bills, power bills, interest insurance. There isn't any way out of those either, most of which are a base requirement or legislated. It's like running on a hamster wheel, no time to look sideways, unless of course you're an insider on the money go round. If you are, congratulations, you're the great Aussie Piss Take Carnival. You're all set. The ticket price is your dignity and decency. That's of little consequence to you. The carnies are there to serve you, as are the clowns, cleaners, work stall owners, the rest of us. They know who they are, the lobbyists, corporate leaders, superfund bosses, MPs, union bosses, bureaucrats, journalists, counsellors, consultants and others. Now, it's not all of them, sure. Most of these people are so self-interested, self-serving and connected, it's like there's a big black blob above us, slowly descending from on high to suck up what's left and turn off the lights, as the last of the guests exit the gates. The money-go-round sets these people up. They run from one trow to another, paying back, slapping backs and drinking in the joy and hope of the people they're supposed to serve. This can't go on for much longer. There is almost nothing left of Australia for them to trade. As Matt Keane moves from New South Wales Energy Minister to Independent Peak Climate Body Chair and corporate hack, Dom goes from Premier into a cushy job trading favours with BHP in DC. Same names, family members' faces, like a big game of checkers. The black and white chips face off against each other, jumping around and collecting checks. At the end of the game, put the chips back down and start again. There are no real-world consequences. They shame the whistleblowers. They blame their stupidity and corruption on innocent bystanders, or they just all had a Daryl seriously corrupt. Oh, what? Never heard of that one. Okay. The truth is, if you knew how many of them, how interconnected, how deep it goes, you would stop paying for all of it. The problem is with taxes is the business pays that before you even get any money in your hand. How do you stop that? Other than try and find a cash-paying job. Albanese runs cover for the unions. His reward will be a job at Big Super or some made-up gig at AUKUS, like the entirely unemployable and failed author Morrison. Furious? No. Disgusted. We deserve better. Better than former journos going into Premier PM's offices, running media interference, so we never get the truth. The truth is existential for them all. So they stand in the middle of the money go-round where you can't see them for the horses. Justice? That horse is bolted. If we, the public, keep voting for the same players, we get the same game. The solution is not in the courts, not on TV, not even in the corruption watchdog. The solution is in us, the people, paying attention, getting involved, taking an interest and stepping forward. We need to ask questions, look deeply and vote differently. It's really that simple. Time to break the money go round. It's not Australia. Time to get Australia back. Australia in the good old days. Yes, well, that was lovely. That's very true. Except that I don't see... well, okay, maybe we shouldn't pay our power bills, but I've been paying mine. I can't help it. It's drummed into me. See, I have been brainwashed to pay my power bills. To pay my bills. Okay, anyway. Maybe we should just stop. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is to this. You can let me know what you think down below. Kev said, pull the other one. Hang on. Who's he replying to? Tarquin Vaz Deferens said, we at the ABC stand by all victims of vile misogyny, because this is the Australian Olympic breakdancer. Okay, and everyone online, from America to the UK to here in Australia, we're all making fun because it was very silly. I don't know if you've seen it. If you haven't, please go onto Twitter and search for Aussie Breakdancer. You'll see it. Very funny indeed. Okay, so them at the ABC stand behind her. Kev said, pull the other one, why don't you, mate? It's not misogynistic to point out that she was shit. I'm an Aussie who used to break dance in my youth, back before she was pretending to pioneer the sport here in Australia. In my day, there were only 2 old grainy VHS tapes you could rent from Civic Video to rent for a week to try and learn from. There were no teachers, no schools, and very small and club battle culture at the kinds of clubs that used to get shot up by gangs in Sydney. I remember my friends and I would practice together in high school lunch breaks and in shopping centre car parks, driven by a passion for this incredibly athletic sport that sits at the intersection of art and pure physicality. When done right, breakdancing is like a fusion of rhythmic gymnastics and acrobatics. What she did was nothing short of woke signalling narcissistic garbage. Like many who appreciate the sport, I was incredibly excited to see its potential on the world stage. The Olympic debut was a chance for breakdancing to finally get the recognition it deserves and to open up new opportunities, creating inclusive communities of like-minded individuals striving for athletic excellence. It's no small feat to be the face behind tarnishing a nascent sport in its Olympic debut. Her performance has led to a global call to ridicule and ban the sport from future games. When you look at her body of work, it raises some genuine questions about her motives. Did she do this intentionally to advance her academic and social standing? Or was it a deliberate attempt to undermine the sport's future because she's clearly too old and lacks the talent to continue in it? Perhaps that's why she pursued a PhD. Those who can't do, teach. This situation is emblematic of a broader social phenomenon where older liberal white women often sabotage the opportunities of younger women to maintain their own social power. Afraid of competition, they resort to destructive actions, as we may be witnessing here. This pattern is rooted in a complex mix of insecurity, fear of being overshadowed, and a desire to control the narrative, often at the expense of those who should be the sport's future. It's a stark reminder of how personal ambition can clash with the collective good, leading to outcomes that harm not just individuals, but entire communities and emerging fields. This breaks my heart because I understand the damage she's done to a community she pretends to represent. But in reality, she's trapped in a woke academic bubble, along with the rest of the psychologically deranged academics who are destroying this country with their narcissism and inflated sense of self-importance. She's a national disgrace and has betrayed every young B-girl and B-boy who has dreamt of breakdancing being taken seriously on the world's biggest sports stage. She tried to fake competency on the world's most competitive athletic stage and failed dismally. The expressions on the crowd says it all. Yep, this guy's sort of trying not to smirk. This person, their eyes look like they're smiling. This person's going, what on earth is that? So is this girl, actually. She's going, oh my God. And this person is just frowning down there. This person has no expression whatsoever. This person also looks like they're trying not to smile. And this person here is just going, no words. I have no words. What the fuck is that? So there you go. Very much so. I like that. I do. Okay, so we've got this Liz Churchill. Before and after the Islamic Revolution of Iran. Look at the lady here. Look at the little kids. Okay, that's before. This is after. This was 1979. That is amazing. Iran in 1979. How beautiful. How absolutely beautiful. And then look what happens. Iran 2023. How is this possible? Look. It's so beautiful. I can't believe it. This is what it does to you. When you when they outnumber you, then you're in trouble. We're finding out in the UK. I think we're about to find out in Australia. God knows about, I don't know what's happening to New Zealand. I don't know if they're sending them back now. I don't know what's happening in Canada. Are they overrun there? I don't know. Lucy said gas prices in Los Angeles. What has Biden-Harris done to deserve another 4 years? Oh, wow, $8.05 per gallon at the very cheapest. The Supreme is $8.09. What's this 9/10? 99? I don't know. 79? 59? I don't know. Anyway, I hope that's $80 and... Sorry, $8 and... No, it's 5 cents. Well, what's this? Someone can tell me below because I'm not American. I don't know what this means. Okay. Anyway, that's a lot, okay? It's about... I think we're paying about that much in Australia. Maybe a little bit less at the moment because it seems to have gone down, but it'll go back up again. We have a... Here in Australia, we have our petrol prices go on a roller coaster. So they go up for a while and they stay up there and they start dropping slowly back. They don't go like a roller coaster as in fast down the other side, unfortunately. It's more like the opposite of a roller coaster. They go really quickly upwards and then they go down very slowly. And then they only stay that way for a couple of days and then it goes back up again. And that happens every 2 weeks or so here in Australia. So there we go. Peter Sweden said breaking school children in Britain will be taught how to spot misinformation online. Who decides what is misinformation? This is beginning to sound very Soviet. I tend to agree. By the way, these are all opinions, okay? Nothing said here should be taken as complete fact. You should do your own research. The Yorkshire lass said in 2022, Trump said, watch what's going to happen with Taiwan now after the Olympics. Will be a very interesting period of time. Let's watch what happens after the Olympics. I'm a good predictor. He didn't say which year. Okay, let's have a look at this. What's going on here?
Watch what happens after the Olympics. I'm a good predictor. Watch what happens right after the Olympics with Taiwan and China.
Okay.
And China wouldn't have happened, and you watch what's going to happen with Taiwan now and lots of other problems.
What do you think's going to happen?
I think that after the Olympics, it'll be a very interesting period of time because they see the way we withdrew from Afghanistan, the horrible way, not the fact that we did, because I was the one that got it down to 2,000 soldiers, but we were getting out with strength and dignity and the equipment and no death. What happened is terrible, and the world watched.
Right now, which is the situation
Okay.
between Russia and Ukraine.
Oh, okay, it just seems to play when I do that. Okay. I believe he's trying to tell us something, and I believe he's trying to tell us that some people are going to be scared pretty shortly. We've got no idea what's about to happen, believe me. Or even those of us who have a little bit of an idea. But don't panic. Have faith. We will be okay. Libs of TikTok said unbelievable. The Secret Service is already trying to walk back their statements and claim they weren't behind the hair salon break-in and camera cover-up in Massachusetts after admitting to Business Insider that they were. Don't let them forget Secret Service. Secret Service hints it wasn't behind the salon break-in during Kamala Harris's campaign event. Remember this? This lady, the Secret Service actually broke into a salon, covered up the camera. This lady covered up the camera, and they had people going in and out using the bathroom of the salon. They actually broke in to do it. No permission off. The lady would have said she would have given them permission if they had have contacted her, but they didn't. So there you go. Kate M. said, listening to Dr. Joanna Howe speak on Crediland tonight and her touching on the subject of, getting rid of a baby makes you question why in a country like Australia any person thinks it's acceptable or humane to allow this to happen. I find gut-wrenching and grossly inhumane. The fact that up until legal up until birth, but this is particularly horrific, that in Australia certain states allow a newborn baby who survives it to be left to die without the right of medical care. In Queensland, as an example, in 2022, 42 babies who survived were left to die. Dr. Howe broke the story of the unnamed baby born at Westmead Hospital in BSW who was just dumped in a bin still breathing. Her advocacy on this topic is one of the reasons why activists have tried to cancel her. They simply don't want the truth of these horrific practices to become general knowledge, but it really needs to be, and it needs to stop. That is insane. I am disgusted. Okay, I'm going to try and continue. Wow, okay, that was a lot. Herald Sun said Victoria Auditor General has been urged to undertake a statewide audit of every government contract to determine whether the militant CFMEU, which is one of our unions here in Australia, or its affiliates may have been favoured. Called for audit to check if CFMEU was favoured in state contracts. Of course they were. That's how it works. The government gave them all the jobs, all the contracts. So there you go. The Yorkshire lass said, shared Dr. Russell McGregor, the rest of the year will be very traumatic for the people. However, for people who sort of know a little bit, it will be a relief. Okay, I'm going to put it that way because I believe if I say certain words, it may trigger something. I'm not sure. But that seems to be what's going on lately. Okay. Alexandria Marshall said the British government has decided that goes with what I was saying about what I believe Trump is trying to tell people. Just keep watching Taiwan and China. They're right above where I am, by the way, okay, in Australia. They're right above us. Oh, no, we've got like Indonesia and, the islands, but above that is China and Taiwan. Okay. Alexandra Marshall said the British government has decided that if you use social media to reveal the violence of the state, you yourself are guilty of violence. If you oppose the violence of the state, you are a terrorist. If you challenge the cultural mantra of the state, you'll go to jail. They're even emptying the prisons of criminals to make room for political dissenters. And you're telling us this isn't a communist revolution? Okay, and Aussie Phil seems to think it's a Jewish Bolshevik revolution. Oh, I don't know. Okay, just sit back and keep watching. Okay, Aussie 1801 said 300 graves destroyed in Toowoomba Cemetery, including soldiers' head tombs. Families are devastated. It's cultural vandalism. These scumbags are out of control. And there it is. There's some very old tombstones that have been destroyed because people do not care about Australian history anymore. A weak judiciary will lead to anarchy. Absolutely it will. I think it's exactly what they want. That is, okay? This is what the elite want. Absolute anarchy. That's why you need a small, very small government. Very small. Okay, not what it is right now. It's insane. Elon Musk said the first thing a dictator does is ban private ownership of guns, as we know here in Australia. Chavez did this in 2012, so the people couldn't fight back. We had it done to us in 1996 to 8, somewhere along there, here in Australia. And that's why we are at a loss to fight back. I believe the UK is the same. Venezuela bans private gun ownership. We've got declaration of memes. Okay, let's have a look at this one. It's they, them, I believe, telling the Christian to stop forcing your beliefs while they force their beliefs. Right in your face, whether you like it or not. Okay. Gunther Eagleman said if you're a Republican and MN, you can vote in the open primary to defeat Ilhan Omar tomorrow on Tuesday, August the 13th. You'll know what to do. Pass the word. Let's send another squad member to the unemployment line. Fire Ilhan. Ilhan Omar. Okay. No context humans said Australian tried hiding guns in a secret bunker. Oh, well done, mate. And apparently this guy tried hiding guns in a secret bunker. And then somehow it was found out. Okay. Well done, mate. Wow. You know what? This would be amazing. Wow, for someone like me anyway, who knows? When you know, you know. That, yeah, these, I believe Australia and the UK and anyone else who's given up theirs are about to find out why they shouldn't have. And we are seeing it in the UK right now. So obviously the police have confiscated all this because you're not allowed to do this. Okay, here in Australia, you are allowed to have guns. You have to apply for a license, go to training, which is fair enough. That's fair enough. Go on a register, which just conveniently too, by the way, was leaked online. And people had their houses broken into, and guess what was stolen? The only thing that was stolen. Yeah, them. But anyway, you have to have a gun safe bolted to the floor or the wall. You need one for your firearm and one for the ammunition. And you need to store them in separate safes. You need to disable and pull apart your firearm and store it in one safe, and your ammunition obviously in the other. So by the time you can't use it for self-defense either. It's just not on, you're not allowed, right? Not allowed. And even if you were, with those rules, you'd have to say to the home invader or whoever, hang on a second while I just open my safe and put my gun together and open the other safe and put the bullets in, you know? It just doesn't work. But anyway, hey, that's just my opinion. It's not the truth, it's not the facts, it's just my opinion. Well, it could be. Depends on which side you're coming from lately. Everyone's making up their own facts. Clown Down Under said that's something we cannot celebrate. It's pathetic. Aussies lash out after learning their tax dollars have been paying for Ray Gunn's breakdancing studies as her bizarre essays are revealed. A disgrace. Aussie taxpayers in the grip of one of the toughest cost of living crises in decades have been left fuming over Rachel Gunn, and not just because they don't rate her routines as at the Paris Olympics. No, it's not even that. It's the tax dollars that have been paying for her breakdancing studies that she's obviously not very good at. That's what happens when you go to university these days for a PhD in, I don't know. Seriously. And she's into gender studies, and she's a feminist and feminine studies and, one of those, virtue signalling things. Okay, Kate said this is so wrong. I have no problem with this man running as an independent. What I do have a problem with, and a big problem at that, is why he's running. A popular doctor, Dr. Zayed Bassiouni from the southwest Sydney Muslim community, will take on Tony Burke in the Minister's Watson electorate, the first emergence of an independent candidate running in Labor's heartlands. Oh, here we go. Prompted by the community's unhappiness with the government's Gaza stance. Oh, great. Because the majority of that community is Muslim now, right? So they're going to, you watch this man get in. Okay, you watch. You watch. And I didn't think you were allowed to be born in another country and run in politics here in Australia, but there you go. I thought you had to be an Australian citizen for at least your mother and father being born here and you being born here. That's how I take it. And this is what happened in the UK. You had ended up with Muslims in ministers' offices. Okay? The first emergence of an independent candidate running in Labor's heartlands prompted by the community's unhappiness with the government's Gaza stance. He's been critical on social media of Labor's handling of the war and is likely to campaign heavily on the government's record on Israel-Palestine, which large segments of the Sydney Muslim community, have been unhappy with. I don't know where I got population from. God help me, I'd even campaign for Burke to help keep this Gaza Palestinian rubbish out of our parliament. It has no place here. Someone else in Watson needs to run for the electorate. Where's One Nation? Have they got anyone in there? Pauline Hanson? Okay. Dr. Malouf said the Arab slave trade started centuries earlier, enslaved millions more Africans and lasted longer than the European Atlantic slave trade. So why are we only taught about the latter in school? Because the former is not convenient to them right now, and we're importing all these people into our countries, apparently. I don't want you knowing about that. And this has been a long time planning, by the way, guys. As you can see from Iran in the 70s and Iran now, they've slowly been introducing this thing, and I believe this is from the very high-ups that want this. Because in the end, look at Agenda 2030 or Agenda 21 for that matter, either one. Declaration of memes, this will be happening more and more as millennials age. Sex and the City writer Candice Bushnell, 60, admits she regrets choosing a career over having children as she is now truly alone. There you go. You can be a mum and have a career. But, I don't know, time is divided to me. I couldn't do it myself personally. I wanted to be a stay-at-home mum. I was forced to go out to work to support myself and my children, obviously. But I preferred being at home, so it's not good for women. And it's not good, especially if you don't have children. I do honestly feel for the women who don't have children. Because it's going to be a lonely time. Okay, honest, ethical, safe Dr. David Cartland said this man was on that plane. He discovered a way to... The plane that crashed the other day, by the way. I don't know if you've seen that, but that's very interesting. He discovered a way to program regulatory T cells to attack tumours. A huge breakthrough. It showed 90% remission in the lab. They're moving to animal trials. If it works, it basically ends cancer. Apparently, allegedly, I don't know, go see your doctor. And as I said, don't take this as absolute truth. You do your own research. And his plane just exploded, by the way, Dr. Leo Ferreira. This has been happening for many years, by the way, guys. I've been watching for many years. Watching plane crashes and with doctors or scientists on board, you know, and a few of them. And they were going to do something good for humanity, and all of a sudden they're not there anymore, which is very suspect. Rebecca Mr. Egan said, you are hereby invited to Reflection Sunday. Okay, now ask yourself. Okay, I'm going to let her ask you.
And if you're of the opinion that Islam is a good thing to bring into our societies, let me ask you this. Why in this globalist world are people not running to Muslim countries? You ask yourself that question and then sit with that thought. Would I want to move to a Muslim country? And if you don't, stop bringing Islam into our societies, because that is what's going to happen when they are the majority. We will become a Muslim country. And if you're of...
And she's not wrong. And I believe, as I said, the higher ups are doing this through, they've done it they've done it to Iran, Iraq, all of the Muslim countries. Oh, well, they've turned the Muslim sort of into the hijab thing, you know. This is not good, guys. I don't know what else to say, and I've got to be very careful. Elon Musk said, we look forward to a very public battle in court so the people of Europe can know the truth. Thierry Breton said, back in the day, blue checks used to mean trustworthy sources of information. Now with X, our preliminary view is that X, they deceive users, they infringe DSA. X now has the right of defence, but if our view is confirmed, we will impose fines and require significant changes. Did this person not understand that the Australian government tried to do this to X and it didn't work, by the way? Not the B, which means this is probably true. Who knows? Labor Party politician arrested in England for making death threats against immigration protesters. He was threatening to cut their throat, apparently. It was very disturbing, to be realistic, to be truthful. It's very disturbing. Okay, then American as said, never deleting this app when you attend a Kamala rally. Oh dear. Because I don't know if you noticed in the audience of the Kamala rally, it seemed to be AI because people's faces look like this in the audience. Okay. Shadow of Ezra said plenty of people were recorded leaving Kamala Harris's rally after she took Donald Trump's no tax on tips plan and presented it as her own during her Las Vegas rally. So there you go, they're all walking out. Allegedly, apparently, I don't know. And Susan Wojcicki, of course, Shadow of Ezra, Susan Wojcicki, the former CEO of YouTube, passed away at the age of 56 after a 2-year battle with cancer. Here she is at the 2022 World Economic Forum, openly admitting to censoring information on YouTube and demonetising creators who challenged the mainstream CC narrative. She also removed the dislike button from YouTube as part of her radical social engineering agenda when Joe Biden's White House wasn't doing very well. They were getting a lot of thumbs down. So they removed the thumbs down button. That's why they did it. Okay, UK updates. Do you agree with Anne Widcombe? Nobody has the right to live their lives being protected from offence or from hurt feelings. It's an occupational hazard of living in society. No matter how much we may disagree with somebody, we must defend their right to say it. Free speech is for all, not just for the privileged few. I totally agree with that. Very much agree with that. So much, I'm going to share it. Okay, Shadow of Ezra said authorities in Ukraine discovered 4.7, my goodness, get it right, woman, euros, equivalent to over $5 million in unaccounted cash as part of a criminal investigation into tax evasion by a group of companies that supply products to the Ministry of Defence. The money was found in the trunk of the accountant's car, allegedly. The woman was unable to explain the origins of the funds. allegedly. Mainstream media has confirmed that this is not your hard-earned tax dollars. Not at all. Of course not. That's what Ukraine is. Money going in and out and all over the place and then in someone's pocket. Wyatt said thread, did you know not... Oh, I think I might have to do this one on Rumble. Okay. Boeing Starliner could be junk and stuck at the space station permanently, said Wall Street Silver. NASA has lost confidence in the safety of the Starliner due to leaks and won't allow astronauts to return on it. But Boeing installed software on Starliner that does not provide for automated undocking. Where am I up to here? They need a human inside of the Starliner to undock, but the problem is there would be no way to get the astronaut back on the space station. The spacesuits are too bulky to fit through the port. Boeing wants to upload new software while Starliner is in space, but NASA is worried it'll fail and then brick Starliner forever, thus blocking one of only 2 ports where Dragon and others arrive and leave from. The 2 astronauts were only supposed to be on the space station for 8 days for this Starliner test flight and have now been there for 2 months. The most likely plan is for their return in February 2025 aboard a Dragon crew capsule. Oh, wow. So they're just stuck in space. This is going to have a massive impact on Boeing's ability to win future contracts from NASA and the US military. Part of each contract evaluation is past performance and confidence in the management team at Boeing to complete the contract. Starliner is a massive negative. Well, there you go. Are we going to see the end of Boeing? Who knows? Okay, then we have this. David Atherton, breaking news. The CEO of X, Elon Musk, has thrown down the gauntlet to Hamza Yousaf. He's obviously super racist against white people. I dare that person to sue me. Go ahead, make my day. The scumbag, apparently. Is that what Elon said? Legal discovery will show that however big a racist he's been in public communications, he's vastly worse in private communications. Is it his DMs? Okay, so Elon Musk has thrown the gauntlet out to Hamza Yousaf, which I believe is a Scottish minister. Is it Prime Minister? Who is complaining about all the white people. Okay. Anyway. Ms. Smudge said it's not social media. The rot starts at the top. Albo, our most divisive PM ever. He has the power to unite Australia, yet every single day his words and deeds divide. When a PM uses thought-terminating cliches cooker to reference those with whom he disagrees, half the country, all is lost. He calls people cookers instead of, I believe, conspiracy theorists. That's another word for it, apparently, according to the left here. Damien at the other side, if I hear one more dickhead in the media or politics say it's all because of social media and polarisation of political views, I'll puke. It's not. It's because of politicians of all parties in most Western nations not listening to the people. When you don't listen, you give rise to people taking to social media and the streets to vent their frustrations. Your job is to engage and listen to what the people want and deliver. Not doing that ends democracy and destroys institutional reputation and trust. You are to blame. You, Keir Starmer and Rishi Sunak and all your pathetic MPs and you, BBC News and all academics and elites. What did you expect would happen? Seriously? And he has also atted Nigel Farage, Piers Morgan, Lola Fox, Ollie London, GB News, Talk TV and Elon Musk. Fair enough, mate. Yep, I hear ya. Okay, Wall Street Silver said if you want to, ban hate speech, ban gas stoves, mandate electric vehicles, implement lockdowns, require mandates of certain things, medical procedures, require diversity quotas, you are not in the minding your own business party. No, you're not. There are 2 types of people in the world. There are those that want to be left alone and there are those that will not leave you alone. Okay. Now we got that straight. Good talk. Ian Carroll said so. About 2 weeks ago, someone deleted all references to Jeffries from Bill Clinton's Wikipedia page. What's about to happen? I believe something is about to happen, and I'll do that on Rumble. I'll play this on Rumble, but I'm hearing rumours of, I'm hearing talk is coming back up again. Okay, and we got this one. Camus said who? Director General Dr. Tedros, who was seen in a bar wearing little shorts in a man bar. Okay, like the Blue Oyster out of Police Academy. Okay, the climate crisis is a health crisis. It's not a hypothetical crisis in the future. It's right here and right now. Climate-related humanitarian emergencies are increasing in scale, frequency and intensity. Each year, air pollution contributes to over 7 million premature deaths. Rising seas are raging closer to submerging some of our member states. Food insecurity is rising, forcing people to make impossible choices between their next meal and healthcare. That's got more to do with inflation and bad money handling by our governments. And climate change is also fueling the spread of diseases like cholera, dengue and malaria. The health gains from climate mitigation and adaptation outweigh the costs and are a compelling argument for stronger climate action. Climate action could save millions of lives each year and generate a return of over $4 for every dollar spent. Oh, to who? To the investors that have, like these people who have investments in this stuff. They are just asking. These actions include protecting vulnerable people from the health impacts of heat waves, investing in renewable energy for health facilities, and removing subsidies from polluting fuels. I'm sorry, but I don't quite believe that. I mean, yeah, but I do believe the $4 for every dollar spent by the public tax dollar will give these people $4 in return. That's how it works. Okay, and are you going to throw money at the sky and tell it to stop getting hot? I'd like to know how they're actually going to do anything about climate change with money. Especially when corporations are the one knocking all the trees down to build gigantic, solar farms and wind farms. But let's not worry about that. Alan Buchbach, in response to Wall Street Silver, said this is a news story which ended respect for the police in UK. 1,400 children groomed, attacked and hooked on drugs to turn them into prostitution and slavery, but cops wouldn't do anything because that would be racist. Horrific betrayal of 1,400 children. Asian gangs' appalling abuse of young girls lasted 16 years because people in authority were scared of being labelled racist if they tackled it. Wow. And then Wall Street Silver's actually, this is I believe, the thing that they were responding to. They've diagnosed the wrong problem. The people have lost respect for the police because it says riots show UK has lost respect for police. Warns Home Secretary violence has revealed that people believe crime has no consequences. Yeah, that's not it. The people have lost respect for the police because they are incompetent and woke. They don't enforce the law equally. They have different standards for different ethnic groups. And the police are chasing speech crimes instead of protecting children. And this is in the UK. And it's also what Australia's doing. I believe maybe even even Canada. David Curtin asked, who would you rather have running the United Kingdom? And 91% chose Putin. And I chose Putin to see what. Because nobody likes Starmer. 18,000 votes. There you go. More people would rather Putin and then I had to do this with cuteness overload. This is going to be the end of it. Yog, his name is Goose. He's going home for the first time. Are you ready? Just so cute. Look at that little puppy dog.
I can't believe how cute this dog is.
Aww.
See how he just stares? Watch. Now you're gonna cry. See?
I can't believe
Okay, so with that overload of cuteness, I'm going to leave it there. And for those of you who will be on Rumble, there'll be a couple of extra clips over there. And I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, or evening. Bye, guys.